Well, good afternoon everyone, Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. It's Easter Sunday and I wouldn't say I've got fed up with eating chocolate, but I thought I should probably tear myself away from the telly and eating chocolate to do a bit of seed sowing. So, come into the greenhouse and going to be sowing a few more sweet corn. Turn the camera around and we can have a look as to the varieties I'm doing and how I start them. So I'll be honest, there are literally dozens and dozens of varieties of sweet corn out there, and honestly I don't know the difference between a lot of them, and so it's a bit of a learning curve, I'll be honest. Only started growing sweet corn properly a couple of years ago, although one of the first crops that I grew when I was about 14 or 15 was actually sweet corn, just grown into some 3-litre pots on the patio of the family home, and they did all right. But so not done it really since, and it's only been the last couple of years or 3 years where we've had the allotment that have kind of, well, figured that I had enough space to be able to do it and to do it well. So let's start with these. This is mini popcorn. So the type of corn that you would have, and it's picked at a juvenile stage before the kernels kind of start separating. But that is the type of corn that you'd be using for having it as al dente type of product or mixed into stir fries. And this as a variety, the cobs will still get to about 5-6 inches in length, but they don't have that separation. Very sweet. They need next to no cooking time at all. Bloody amazing, to be honest. And yeah, you get a lot of fruit, or yeah, I guess they're fruits. A lot of fruit or a lot of vegetables per plant, as in you'd get 3 cobs per plant, whereas a lot of the other types you'll maybe get 1 cob, 2 at a push. So certainly, you know, how we're growing it in the UK. So that's the first one. That's a given. Incredible. Grew that last year, and I've got to admit they were really good, so good. And I didn't realise that I'd used up most of the seed, so consequently I only had a few seeds to sow. And yeah, whether I regret that, I do not know. As I say, coming back to being so many varieties, because there's so many varieties, I thought I'd try a few different ones this year just to see how they compare to the efforts of last year and Incredible. So I've added in Bodacious, Ambrosia and Rising Sun. All are meant to be good croppers, certainly for the UK, which is key. You know, like with everything, do a little bit of research, work out what is going to work for you, because there are so many varieties of whatever, you know. Particularly, I guess the main culprits tend to be a tomato, where you can get some really good tomatoes that are great for greenhouses, a bit like cucumbers actually. Great varieties for greenhouses. If you haven't got a greenhouse, they will not do so well, so you pick one that's more suited to your climate. And likewise with these ones, suited and bred for UK, and so you know that, well, you stand a better chance of getting a reliable crop. Equally, you know, like that. So rust tolerant, really important, helpful in wet summers. Yeah, it is really important about the rust. You know, rust there, that's a early variety but super sweet, and then it gives you your bicolours. But the rust for me is quite a key thing, because where I am in Essex, we are prone to getting distinctive hot spells followed by wet spells, and that is perfect for causing fungal issues, particularly rust on sweet corn and rust on my chrysanthemums, which I lost all last year, and powdery mildew on courgettes and that. You get the idea. So pick a variety that is going to be suitable for your conditions. Equally, got to bear in mind, sweet corn wants a nice open position because it is pollinated by wind. You don't get male and female plants as such, but it's pollinated by wind, and you ideally want to plant it in blocks. So you need it nice and open, not where it's going to be blowing a gale, but certainly not so protected. Wants to be nice and sunny and fairly free draining. But that aside, it's pretty easy to grow. So slightly digressed, but yeah, Incredible was last year. Bodacious is one for this year. Ambrosia is also one for this year, and Rising Sun also for this year. And you'll notice, probably important to note on all of these, they're F1s, which means that you sow them this way out of seed packet, they will come true to type. If you try and save your own seed, they won't necessarily come true to type, and you might end up with something that grows next year like the parent. And the trouble is, in this case, we have no idea what the parent was. So if it happens to be that the parent was sort of more of a feed type corn, then it's going to be bloody awful for us to eat. So here we are, is a little bit on this. Again, highlighting for me, possibly the sweetest early season variety of all. Maybe, we'll see. Reliable in the UK climate for large packed cobs. Perfect. Quick to mature, sweet, creamy, bicolour cobs, naturally sugar enhanced for extra sweetness. That's going to be a winner if they are really that sweet, because the children will love them. So Incredible, obviously I tore the top off, but that has amazing flavour, can't fault that at all. And again, tore the top off that, but yeah, we'll see. So flip those again. So 4 what I call main crop style sweet corns, as in big crop, 1 mini pop, and I'm sowing into these 20 cell trays. And if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll note that this year I've switched to these trays, or I've been trialing these trays. These are come from Westlands, so it's a Grow Short product. There we are, you can see those. And the selling point for me, it doesn't really matter which ones you take, but selling point for me has been the fact that they're about 20% deeper than a standard tray. They're also clear, so it means that you can see the root development as well. Let's show you. Yeah, so that's some dahlia cuttings, so you can see through there. You've got the root on show. Makes it much easier to, particularly with cuttings, to know if they're growing versus this stuff that's in the older trays that you can't quite tell what they're doing. But so growing them in these trays using multi-purpose compost, and it's always a good idea, give the compost a good drink and then leave it for about half an hour or an hour to drain through. These trays were actually filled last night because well, I sowed one of the other varieties last night. Well, I sowed those 2 last night. So yeah, let's do sowing in a moment. I'll just show you the ones I did. So here we have Bodacious and Incredible into that tray there, and that tray there, well, they're the mini pop, and they were sown on Thursday, so they were Sunday today, so only taken a few days for those to germinate. And by sowing into moist compost, you will get germination better, and also using a heated propagator. So let me set the camera up and show you how I do my sowings. Right, so first up, it's Ambrosia. Now, a thing to notice about sweet corn, or sweet corn seeds, is that generally they come loose. So this one has, probably helps if I look at the top of the pack, 35 seeds. So each corn potentially, each one of these potentially is one plant. So potentially you've got 70 cobs that could be created, and that's how it looks. So it's always this sort of very dried up look to it. And with normal seeds, quite often you put just one in a tray. Sweet corn, it always does better multi-sown, and in actual fact for a lot of my seed sowing I would naturally multi-sow anyway, and then that way, well, it then guarantees pretty much that you're going to get one plant grow in every cell. But sweet corn does seemingly do better when it is multi-sown for some reason, and I don't know why. And when I've been reading up, it doesn't seem to be any reason as to why it does better multi-sown, but it does. And there clearly wasn't just 35 seeds within that, because this is a tray of 24. No, it's not, it's a 20 cell tray, and I've managed to multi-sow in all of them barring one. So 39 seeds. So that's the first one done, and then go along, push the seeds down so they're in good contact with the compost. Like so. And that was Ambrosia. So I'll pop a label in anyway, roll the sleeves up, and then get some fresh compost. And cover over the top. Give it a tamp down. And that is seed sowing done there, and then I'll just get this one done. Again, just whip off the top, pull the seeds out. It's, you can see, look how dry they are. It's amazing because they just look as though they're not going to do anything. They look as though they're beyond growing, but they do grow quite easily. Let's get those in. Right, so again, when you do it, just try and get the seed into the middle of the cells if you can do. That way the moisture content's going to be a little bit more consistent. Same with temperature than if it's planted to the side, where it could be a bit more free draining or a bit more exposed to light or whatever. So I'll get those in. Firm down. It's as simple as that. Now we're going to get it over to the propagator. Last tray in the propagator. Tray on, whack the vent shut, and all being well, they'll be up in a few days. So yeah, those ones in the corner have been up quite quickly, and where they have started germinating already, I'll wait until there's a bit more growth on those, or more consistent growth, and then they come out of there and move into, well, an area that's not heated. Right, so we're Friday now, so essentially 5 days on from seed sowing, and these are the sweet corn, all popping. And interestingly, because it's early in the morning, you can see all the excess water on the tips there, which is bloody amazing actually, how all the plants regulate themselves. So these are all the, what I call the proper sweet corn, and then here's the mini pop that was sown about the week earlier. So they're looking really nice and solid. So you'll notice that they're still in propagator, but with the base heat, which is the same as if they were on the heated mat there, but as you can see, there's no space on the heated mat, so propagator with no lid to it is where they're at. So once again, we're in the greenhouse, 9th of April, and the last of the sweet corn has germinated and is showing signs of some good vigor. So we've now got 1, 2, 3 and 4 trays worth of sweet corn, all looking good, all having germinated, but now needs to go out. And I'm not saying out into the cold, I'm saying we'll now put it out into the unheated cold frame that is outside. So still giving it protection from frost and cold prevailing winds, but without the heat of the greenhouse that is ultimately going to end up causing it to get too leggy and bendy. So let's move them outside and toughen them up a little bit. So there we have it, in cold frame. For the time being, the roof is up just so I can show you the video, but essentially it's still a bit nippy, so roof will go down. I'll just keep it ajar like so, and the front door's open, and that's going to allow it to breathe, toughen up a little bit, and not not allow them to get too drawn up and leggy, because after all, we want plants that are going to be strong enough to be able to survive over the allotment and ultimately be capable of well, coping by themselves to produce that crop. Okay, so that is video done. Seed sowing, or sowing the seed, through to having the nice chunky plants and leaving the others to develop, strengthen up, ready for planting out. If you do have any questions though, please send them over to me. I'll do my best to answer them for you. If you like what I'm doing, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button so you don't miss out on future videos I'm doing. And I always say it, but so true, just enjoy what you're doing, have fun, and maybe try out a few different varieties perhaps. You never know, they might be better than what you've already got. So till next time, bye for now.